Rules and regs, come to order. Don't know where Tom is, but I'm sure he'll be back in a minute. Welcome, everybody. I think the first thing we need to do is approve the minutes from the July 10th meeting. Do I have a motion to
So
approve?
moved.
Thank you. First, second, and all in favor? Excellent. Okay, we have, I don't know, did any of you do your homework? I know. I read. Oh, it's okay, it's okay. Because I went through just a few, there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 policies that have not been updated since 2022. These are all from 2000. But I'll tell you in just a minute who those are, but I believe more than likely they were looked at when the big scrub.
I think you mean 2020.
2020. What did I say, 2000?
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
2020.
Anyway, they're the only ones. So that is 2.01, which is board meetings. I think that's pretty straightforward. To me, just looking at it, I don't see any real thing that just stares at you. But I thought I'd at least get these listed. The 5.03 is the one we're looking at anyway. That's the one that's going to be a, yeah. 5.05, boat registrations and moorings. Again, not knowing that much about the lakes and what's going on, I didn't see anything that was glaring, but if you want to maybe take a look at these and see if you think. This one was interesting. 5.07, temporary parking of vehicles. Yeah.
We occasionally have challenging situations, and so that people will park their RV on POA property and so forth, and in some cases we'll let them do it for like an overnight, but it establishes that you can't just go down to the big parking lot at Kingsdale and park your RV for a month.
Exactly. That would be one later that on my own I want to try to see, okay, we have this, what does the city have? And the next step for me, because I like data diving, is to go and see where we still contradict each other. Because we do, especially things like chickens. So, and that's just later, that's just something I want to do.
That's the ACC.
And the ACC, I mean.
No, that's the chicken rule is the ACC, not the POA.
Okay. All right. And he found that out because I got him when he first got here on the TV show.
I've been here 1 month.
Hey, did you bring any chickens, Tom?
I'm like,
chickens? Anyway, there's.
I learned quickly though after that.
There are three. The three. I just see some conflicts, and some of them we may not be able to do anything about. But I just want to see how they compare, because if we can't necessarily do anything here, maybe we can do it at the city. Who knows? And the ACC seems to be way more. I don't want to use the word cooperative, but willing to help, willing to listen. Than before.
And I think most of the overlap, when you're talking about the three entities, most of the overlap is the ACC and the city.
Yes.
There's not a lot of overlap when it comes to POA and the city. And the clarification that we added, I reference this often, but in the declaration where we put the red notes.
Yes, the notes.
I think that really helps clarify, because the declaration, one single document created the POA, the ACC, and the Townhouse Association, and that can be very confusing.
It can.
But I think we've come a long way in alleviating some of that confusion.
Totally. And my goal there personally, as well as here, is when we go through that and we know and we do the comparison, then we'll know how to answer people that says, hey, I don't want chickens on my property, or can I have chickens? We'll know exactly. You already know to send them to the ACC. That's all I'm saying, is that we learn from this and are able to pass that information along to those that don't know. The last one that I saw was 7.02, and it has to do with the logo, the Bella Vista logo. And, you know, nothing wrong with that either, right?
I think on that one, it just makes it clear that someone can't use the logo without our permission.
Yes.
And I think Doug has most or all of our logos registered. But it just means, a good example is at my last community, we had someone create their own website, and they fashioned it as if it was the POA's, and they were using our photos and our name and our font and everything, and we had to end up sending them a cease and desist letter from an attorney, because they were fashioning them, and they were a real estate agent, and they were just trying to capture those people and funnel themselves towards them. And so we had to go and say, no, you can't do that. You can't act like you're the POA just to sell your property. So that's what I view that policy is it just kind of makes it clear that, hey, you can't fake that you're the POA.
Right.
You know?
That's
Do we
all.
license our logo in any way, to where somebody could pay to use it and create merch or whatever it may be?
We've never been approached on that. I mean, we'd be open-minded to talking to them, but nobody has ever asked us to. So, but occasionally I do see on local websites our photos.
Yeah.
But if they're good photos and they're a good representation of the community, I usually don't say anything. And they're not doing it. I don't want to say that the person at my last community was doing it maliciously, but clearly not above board. They were just trying to redirect people to their business, and there's a little bit of malicious in that. But if the person's just trying to promote promote Bella Vista, and they're using our photos, then I'm not going to have an issue with that.
Yeah.
But we could push back.
So anyway, that's all I even found that you guys haven't already scrubbed. Aren't you glad?
That's great.
Did we talk about?
Yeah.
Did we talk about the septic system?
No.
So at the last Rules and Regulations Committee meeting, and I already sent an email to the members of the committee, but if someone is at home, last month we were talking about potentially a new type of septic system that would not use as much, wouldn't use a leach field at all.
Yeah.
So, and there was some of the information that I received at that time was very promising. So I did some research and found out a couple things. The local Arkansas Department of Health, who issues the septic permits, is doing some experiments in the county, not in Bella Vista yet, but in the county, using an incinerator system. So, but they're only doing 2 experiments in the entire county. So, and they haven't even started the experiment. So, the second thing I found is it's really expensive. I did speak with a gentleman that runs a company in Little Rock. And he was very helpful, very informative, and sent me a ton of information. I think it's something that we keep our eye on for the future. And at the time of the meeting, I had mentioned that maybe we need to modify our policy on that based upon this new type of technology. I don't think so yet.
Not yet.
But I think we keep an eye on the developments, and maybe down the road it might make sense. Clearly, let the city and the county Department of Health, let them get through their experiments. Let's see how it goes. If it's favorable, You know, in some cases, if your leach field has failed, the cost may not be the issue anymore.
Yeah.
It's I need to do anything I can to get my home operational and livable. So so if you watched last month and you were interested in what happened this month, hold on, let's see what happens with the experiment, and then maybe down the road. I think we're a little ways away.
Okay, and we're also a little ways away, quite a ways away, but there's a push for it at the city to try to get more people on septic. Now,
On sewer or on septic?
sewer, I'm sorry. Yes, on sewer, because that's not easy either. And that will take a while, and that is expensive to switch over. But, go ahead.
Well, this isn't really a rules and regs question, but since you brought it up, capacity, do we know what the wastewater treatment plant is? It well below capacity right now, or?
That is something they are discussing at the city, and I don't know.
I'm just curious what that was.
Yeah, come to the city council meetings and you'll find out. Okay, I think the only other thing we had was the policy 5.03, the guest policies, right? And this is the second reading.
Yes.
When we vote again.
Yes. So if this is the first, if you're viewing from home, and if this is the first meeting that you've been watching, the policy changes to policy 5.03 were first discussed at last month's rules and regs. Then it went through the work session and was voted upon at the regular session, all taking place last month. And then it goes, through this meeting, and it goes through next week's work session, and then 2 weeks from now. So in total, it goes through 6 different meetings. What ends up happening is any major changes are usually done in the early meetings, and then by the time you get to the 6th meeting, there's no discussion amongst the board at that point, because they've already seen it several times already.
They haven't memorized.
So,
yes.
but by having 2 readings, which means 2 months, we can, the membership can rest assured that the board has taken a very informed and transparent approach to any changes to our governing documents.
And I know there was more to it than just clarification, but mostly that was clarification and some additional things that needed to be addressed.
Yeah, we changed a lot of the language.
Right.
I'm sorry. We changed a lot of words, but we really didn't change a lot of essence of it.
Yeah.
So there weren't major shifts that we changed. But we did add, a good paragraph, but it just for added clarity.
So is everybody good before we go on? So we don't have any surprises at the meeting itself? If you want to answer any questions now.
I was just going to say the main takeaway is that there's an extra 30 days in there so that the board can consider,
yes.
If the board is not on board, that they would have a chance to discuss it and talk about it and then come to a resolution instead of.
And transparency with the community, to give the community
and the community
an additional 30 days if they want to voice their concern or support.
Exactly. Okay, well, we don't have anything email-wise, do we? We're open forum. I don't see anybody out there. They're all out there at the silent auction, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
And so, unless you guys come up with something, I'm not sure we need to have a meeting until that happens going forward. What do you think? We don't need to meet just to meet.
I like hanging out with y'all.
Huh? Do what?
I enjoy hanging out with everybody.
Oh, well, we can hang out.
Does that include Doug?
Yeah, especially Doug.
Okay.
We'll dig into those that you
Yeah.
mentioned and then, see if there's anything else we find.
Yeah, and it'll be really good for you two in particular because you haven't really seen them like we have. You're kind of new to the board and you have a different perspective. So maybe those 4, there's only 4 now because we've already got one of them taken care of. Anything else before we adjourn? Okay, I'm not sure this was the shortest meeting on the record, but we're adjourned.
It's a solid effort to extend it.